Hello, this is a video to explain the new drawing palette for the organic chemistry and other chemistry titles. Hopefully, as you're aware, we currently use Java in our drawing palette. So what that means is when a student or faculty member opens a question, you may have something like this where they have to activate the Java, they may have to download security updates and so forth. It's a real pain, and lots of times it just didn't work depending on the browser and the computer. So what we're doing is we're switching away from Java and we're going to JavaScript. So this is currently our drawing palette. So you can take a look at it and you can see how it looks like. And when I flip over in just a second, this is our new palette. The new palette is going to look very, very, very similar to the old palette. So all the functionality, all the question types, everything's going to be the same, except we're using JavaScript, which means it's so much easier. It just works. You know, that's the tagline we're using. It just works. JavaScript, if you're not familiar with it versus Java, JavaScript is what you have in a lot of browsers like Amazon, where you have a button where you click to buy or something like that. That's a JavaScript applet. So here, this is the new JavaScript. We click Edit, palette opens up, and you can see very, very similar palette to what we had before. All the buttons are the same. Most of the functionality is the same. There's slight differences. One thing, for example, when you go to copy and paste, instead of using these buttons which are here, you actually have to go Control-C and Control-V to copy and paste. And also notice you don't use this or you don't use the green box. If you want to move something, you actually highlight a bond and move it around. Atoms are automatically tagged with lone pairs. So if we put an atom in oxygen, the lone pair is automatically there. Before, we would have to add in the lone pair. And for the arrow buttons, you actually have to start at a lone pair and go to wherever you're going. You can click the arrow and it can move around between the various locations. So before, when you were moving the arrow, you'd have to move the cursor to get it to go to the right regiochemistry. It's a word we use for the location. Sometimes also it may be hard to grab the lone pair. So when you're coming here, you may try and grab and you can't. You can expand this and touch the lone pair, and that makes it a lot easier to grab it if you need to. And if any faculty ask, oh, why does it expand big like that? Well, the reason, so you just highlight and then press a button, and now you can easily grab the lone pair. When you're doing here, you have to make sure you're right on that lone pair to do it. We're going to have a lot more information on this with a marketing hour and other correspondence with you, but the key takeaway is the JavaScript is replacing Java, making it so much simpler, no downloads, everybody can use it, it works in all browsers, and there's slight variations in the functionality, but they're not major, they're just, you know, the arrows, the copy and paste, but basically everybody's going to be familiar with how to draw everything. It's just a matter of now using the JavaScript.